And
One.
we
We're
are
live.
live, everyone. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
My name is Diamond Rivera of Diamond Rivera Films and Live Discussions with Diamond. And right now we are on season 2, episode 2. And we have here the amazing, the ever inspiring Carlos Anthony. Hello, Carlos. How have you been during this COVID quarantine time?
I have been doing amazing. I'll be honest with you. I was one of those people that would complain in the beginning because I
Mhm.
wasn't working and there was no money coming in and I was bored. But once you start coming over those obstacles and you start working on yourself, you start to find new things about yourself to fix and work on. And I painted my whole room, helped paint the whole house, just to help my
Mhm.
mom with a lot of stuff in the house. It's been an adventure, but it's been fun. I can't complain at all. So
Absolutely. And I mean, before we even get started, I really want to say throughout the interview as well, we're going to be having like just comments flooding in. Like right now, you
mm,
have Rob Grisco here. And to be honest, a lot of the platforms, when they have these type of discussions with people, they just kind of want to get straight to the point. But for
mm,
myself, I love to kind of go way back and understanding the journey and the road that it took you to get where you are. And
mm,
before, I would love people to know is that I met you around 2016 at the New Jersey Bachata Kizomba Festival, Salsa Festival. And for me, it was a very eye-opening experience because I saw a person in yourself that truly I felt was a very free dancer, that a person that, in my eyes, just had no limitations, that was very friendly, very open, very secure in themselves, in my eyes. And almost now 4 years later, and every Congress and festival that's going on, I definitely have seen your name. And when people just even say who you are, like the people, their faces light up, in my opinion. And for me, it's like I've gotten to know you, but now having this platform and having you on, I feel like I'm going to get to know you even more. So
mm.
I definitely would love for you to kind of take us all the way back and kind of give
Yeah.
us, that journey of you.
It's. I could tell you one thing. It's been a journey. It's been a journey so bad. Not.
Mhm.
It wasn't all bad. No, it wasn't. I'm gonna keep it real positive because there has been some very good moments in my journey. I
Mhm.
started. So I always loved dancing as growing up. I grew up in a very cultured household. My grandpa was in like a Spanish band, always playing with his guitar, his Spanish music. Like he was like the dancer of the family, and I always loved moving to it. And like not only like Spanish music, but when it came to like when Britney Spears came on or J Lo, like one of those things like waiting for tonight, I'll be up in there dancing. So like even at family parties, like everybody would like, oh, he's the dancer. Like as I got older, but growing up in a Spanish household, there was also expectations of what a man and a woman should be. So
Mhm.
for me, I was forced into sports because I was a boy. I was forced to do baseball, soccer, karate, like boy things, and I didn't want to do any of that. So I wanted to do dancing, and my dad wouldn't pay for my dance classes. So he was like, I'm not paying for that. It's either you do baseball or you pay for yourself. So at age 15, I started working. I started working at Burger King, my first job, and I started doing everything on my own. I started paying for my own cell phone bill, my own clothes. I started to working a lot to the point where at the age of 16, I went to dance classes because I was in high school with all like people that were dancers. Like
Mhm.
I would go to rallies and little things that they have around my county, and I would see dancers perform. And the dance company that I first started to join ever was called Dixon Dance Academy. They were involved around hip hop, ballet, lyrical, tap. So when I first started, I signed up for the boys hip hop class, and for a whole year, I had this amazing instructor named Ron that he basically he showed us the fundamentals of like hip hop and taking his time on us because it was four of us boys and one of them was like a real pro, like he was really good, and the other three were just starting to learn. So I stuck with it. After that, at first I got insecure, I'm not gonna even lie, because it was new to me. Like I was never taught this as a kid, and the other people in the class were. I wasn't. So I stuck with it for 5 years. I stuck with that dance company, and after a year being there, they took more time on me. They started to train me more and more. So I joined their competition team for lyrical and hip hop. The dance teacher that was there, she was very motivating. She didn't give up on me at all. Like, she tried her best. As difficult I was, insecure I was as a kid, like, she really pushed me. Like, when I mean pushed me, like, she was like, do it again, do it again. That wasn't perfect. Do it again. She was like, you're off count. Do it again. She's like, I need to see facial expressions. Do it again. And I'll be honest with you, even, like, going into the salsa community, I stuck with that, even performing. So I stood there for 5, 6 years, and that's when I turned 21. And then I met friends that were in the salsa community. They were in a dance company called Dance Crush that was out in Violin, New Jersey. Dance Crush is a very old. It was a very old dance company, and they were a part of that. And once I got closer with those individuals, we started to go out dancing in Philly. And once I got into Philly, I started to social dance. And I could tell you it was hell. Because I would literally sit there and watch everybody dance. Everybody, like, these people were in dance schools. These people were doing it since the beginning, like, as soon as they could walk. Like, it was so amazing. And like, you could just look at the person and be like, oh my God, they're amazing. Like, you'll get insecure about it. You get really nervous. And that was me. So I was pushed to, like, really, like, do it more, like, to go out social dance and start asking people and everything. I was taught how to lead in the beginning. So I stuck with that for a little while, but I got really fascinated by the following part. When it came to the woman following, I was so amazed. The way that their lines are, the way how they spin, and it was just amazing to me. I wanted to learn how to do that. So I had to really, like, step out of my box and started to learn. I started to ask guys, because guys wouldn't ask me. This is way before I started dancing in heels. And I just kept doing it over and over. And then my first, I guess I could consider it as a congress, but not a congress, was my first dance adventure was Aventura Dance Cruise. That was
Gotcha.
like, yeah, that was like years ago. That was when I first turned, like, when they first started doing Aventura Dance Cruise. It was like the second year
Yeah.
of it. So I did the I went through the dance cruise for 3 years, and after doing the I went through the dance cruise for 3 years, my first congress was New Jersey Bachata Festival,
Yes.
and that's where I met everyone. Like, when I'm telling you, I met everyone, like, it's like I met people from, like, North Carolina, New York, LA, like, I was just meeting people from all over, and it was my first time doing this, and some of the people I already knew because of the dance cruise. And coming to the Congress world, it was a whole different world. Like, it was more like, it was partying and everything, but it was more about connections and gaining friendships, and, meeting new people, and learn about new people and their background, their cultures. And that's what I got out of it. Like, I met so many people that came from different backgrounds. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So after I kept going, my second Congress was the New York Salsa Congress. I that's when I started wearing that's in that same year I started wearing heels. No, I didn't start wearing heels. Lie. That was the second Congress. My third Congress. So I went to New York Congress, and that was the time where I started to really find myself as a dancer, because I started to meet gay men that were really out of their shell when it came to following. Like, I would watch these guys, and they were just like Antonio Mendoza, for instance. Just watching him, like, I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah.
I'd be like, I want to follow like him. Like, I want to dance like him. And I remember taking his workshops, and he does not play, but he is very, like, he's very on point what he says. Like, he knows what he's talking about. Like, when he comes to your spins and your core and listen to the beat of the song, it's very important. And I stick with that every time. I'm like, when I go to rehearsals and everything, I will stick with that, like, how to take your time, listen, remember that you're only going to be as good as you want to be.
Yes.
So, like, after that, I got into heels. I wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out. I wanted to be who I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest, I always tried to meet everybody what they wanted me to be.
Yeah, their
They like,
expectations.
yeah, their expectations, and it didn't feel right. It didn't sit right. I was always the person breaking the rules. I was like that in high school. Like I was the one to break rules. I was the first boy to make it on the cheerleading squad in my town.
Hmm.
First boy to make varsity cheerleading squad. So like, if I could break that barrier, I could break other barriers that are coming my way.
No,
and that was,
absolutely,
and that's
absolutely.
the mindset I kept. So I wanted to be a boy in heels. I wanted to be the first boy to perform in heels and salsa. I wanted to do it. I wanted to work my butt off to do it.
Hmm.
I just was having trouble finding the right studio to go to it. So I wanted to learn on two more. On two was, to me, was more like sexy. It was more unified. It was just something about on two that drew my attention more than bachata and salsa on one.
Yeah, and
And
I
I
would
think,
say I'm sorry to cut you off, but what you're saying, it really intrigues me because I think it is important that we have to understand that it was people like Antonio
mhm,
and other dancers before in the LGBTQ plus community that really like were trailblazers and game changers, but they
yeah,
inspired people like you because
yeah,
you wanted to be. You said you were known as the person to break all the rules, but in reality, it wasn't about breaking the rules. It was just about being yourself.
yeah, it was. And as I got older, I really started to really stop listening to people. I really did. So once I started getting the heels, I was like the laughing stock. I'm gonna be
Really?
honest with you. Yes. Not and there was people that would walk by me and I could just hear them like mumbling. I could just see them
Mm,
like looking at me and then looking at the other person talking. And this has not only come from heterosexuals, it's also happened to I seen it happen. I see gay people within the community doing that. And it wasn't like, to me, it didn't sit well. And to me, I was like, one day they're gonna look at me, they were like, oh, he did that
mhm.
and everything. So right now they can laugh at me, but one day there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna be like, you're laughing at me now, but I worked hard. I worked hard and now look at me.
Yeah.
So I started at 4-inch heels, which was the biggest mistake. I started at stilettos. It was just like, because I thought they were so pretty, and then I put them in, and then when I told the girl that told me to like go for the heels, to like it was Sharon from Arts in Motion. When
Yes.
I told her I get 4-inch heels, she like, why did you do that? It's so high. But I went for it and I did it, and I got into the G Finko contest because of those heels, and I started practicing those heels. But practicing in those heels really pushed me out of my comfort zone to go into a lower inch heel and make me focus on my technique more. It like really gave me the confidence to push forward, though. It didn't hold me back. At first, it was very hard to walk in them. Not gonna
Mhm.
lie, because I haven't practiced my point in a very long time. So like walking into the heels at the first time, I was like, holy crap! I was like, this hurts. Like, they were really tight and they were really high, and then like trying to dance salsa in them and like, or even bachata, I was like, Lord, what did I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, so after I performed a J-Paco contest video, it was bachata to Romeo Santos. I got in. I was surprised by that. I was
Mhm.
very like taken by it. I was like, holy crap. And people were voting for me. People were really voting for me. And I was very like surprised. And then after that, I did Isabel Salsa Challenge.
Mhm.
And then after that, I saw Abasario in Philly was doing dance auditions. And I went for that and I joined their dance company team for training, their training company team. And from there, I just worked really hard. I would be there from Monday through Thursday
Mhm.
from like 4 o'clock to 11, 12 o'clock at night. And then I go social dancing right after. Just practicing in my heels for like those hours, 4 days a week.
Wow, that's dedication right there.
It was a lot because I really wanted to focus on my technique. I wanted to get it down packed. I wanted to like feel comfortable in it. I didn't want to do it just to do it. I wanted to feel comfortable. I wanted to show that I'm the difference. I wanted to break down that door so others could walk through it. Like
Yeah.
it and it wasn't easy at all. Like there was many times I cried. I wanted to give up and I didn't. I
Yeah.
I kept going, and like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I stopped dancing for what is it now? 2 years. I stopped
Wow.
dancing for 2 years. I stopped because within me being at the dance school with Avasario, I got kicked out of a house. My boyfriend broke up with me. Um, Ooh, give me a minute.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
My car was breaking down. I was just losing everything one by one. So I had to really like take 20 steps back. I had to take 20 steps back. I stopped. My last Congress that I ever did was the Philly Salsa Fest. And after that, I just couldn't do it no more. I
Yeah.
lied to my instructor and told him that I'm going somewhere else when basically I wanted time to heal. I
Yes.
wanted time to myself. I wanted to start over. When I'm telling you, I went depressed. I would go to work and I couldn't focus. I will come home and I would cry myself to sleep. So it was just like that. It took a real big effect on me for 7 months. Within that year of me like dancing with Abasadi even more, I was lost. I couldn't do it no more. So now, fast forward to where I am now, in a better place, way better place. I'm getting to dancing little by little. I did throw all my heels away besides one pair. I still got one pair left. They're my babies. So that was my journey, and it was a hell of one. But I was just telling my boyfriend today, I am so happy I went through that journey.
No, absolutely.
I'm so happy I went through it, got over it. I got over the obstacles, the tribulations, and like I wouldn't regret any of it. And I'm glad that all those tears are behind me. I'm glad all the weaknesses are behind me, and we are all human. So every day is a learning day. It's a learning day for me, and I'm still being educated on myself and really staying woke to the things that are around me
That's
and what
definitely
really
true.
matters. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I think the key thing you said, of course, is you're human. You're subject to the trials and tribulations. Just because you're a dancer, especially in the scene, and the more your name gets out there, doesn't mean that you're immune to criticism. You're not immune to,
no.
because like you said, you were coming into the scene, and as a gay male, as a member of the LGBTQ plus community, people have to realize this in New York, but all the other places that had these people who are part of that community in this dance community, we're all the same. We all bleed the
Yeah.
same. But in actuality, there's a comment from Mike Movimiento Garcia that said straight guys never wanted to dance with gay guys. And this
Nope.
is this was a comment that I can say, not from my experience, but for a lot of other males that I knew of personally, that probably they never said it out loud, but you can just tell from their presence and how they felt as socials. They definitely, a lot of them are very nervous and very opposite to dancing with a person of the same sex.
Yeah.
And
No, go ahead. It's very true. Coming into the dance scene like that, like coming to the guy with like me going to heels, it was even more like a target not to dance with me. They were like, "You're a guy in heels, and you're trying to follow," but like, nah, I don't want people to look at me like that way. Like they saw it as like a people looking at them like, "Oh, is that dancer gay too?" And that's something that this society, like this culture, the society has normalized, and it's not fair. It's not right, and it's not fair, because it shouldn't be like that. And
no, no, you're right. I'm sorry. Keep going.
like it gets it like and this one thing that I have noticed is that people normalize it, but they love to see two women dance together, grinding onto each other and everything. But once not even gay guys, two guys start doing it to bachata or dancing salsa, it's automatically pointing fingers and judgment.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what's so sad about like when you normalize that. You can't normalize that kind of behavior, because when you have new dancers coming in, they're gonna think that's okay, and it's not.
No, you're absolutely right. And I would say this though, from my experience, because I transitioned into the bachata scene. It wasn't that I just found bachata,
Mhm.
but for me, I started, of course, as a salsa dancer, and I remembered when they started doing these competitions, like the World Salsa Summits or competitions in Europe and Spain. I remember one of the gentlemen's names. I forgot the other one, but Eli Torres. There was a
Yeah.
same-sex couple that was, for
Hmm.
me, if I'm mistaken, were one of the first to really break that norm and help create those
Yeah.
same-sex categories, as well as Jahaira Fajardo and Angelica Medina from Marrakesh. But then specifically in New York City, it really was Antonio.
Yes.
And I agree, because I've been dancing since '96, and I met Antonio maybe '08, '09, or 2010, around that time. But I had an interview with Will Nieves from Nieves Latin Dance Studio, and he even said, I think around 2010, that he was one of the first people to start dancing with Antonio, and Antonio being that dancer who was completely secure in himself, who really was, he stood by his truth. He knew who he was, but most of all, he was a badass dancer, and he still is. And he commanded that respect from everyone.
He broke that door down. He definitely broke it down.
Absolutely. And for me, it's like on this platform, even as we talk, we're giving props, we're giving appreciation, we're giving that respect to people like Antonio, people like others that have paved that way, because you know, we had Antonio, but after that it was just an influx of dancers with the salsa scene. When it came to then bachata specifically, I remembered, in my opinion, it looked more inclusive, because I saw more men who were gay, who were more men who really felt more comfortable, and they saw other people were in that community and was all the same. But I still felt from other people who weren't in that community that hesitation to accept it. You know,
and like bachata, and like in bachata and salsa, there are two different like communities when it comes to that expectations, and it's crazy because I seen it now. Now the tables have churned. Bachata is being so more accepting with men following and like playing the doing the female part as the part, like excuse my language, but they are there. They play that following part so good. Now in salsa, now it's not like there's not many guys that are doing it anymore.
Yeah.
I see it happening more in bachata, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I love salsa. I love dancing salsa, but I feel more comfortable going to the bachata room than anything. Like,
no,
it's like when I go to the bachata room, everybody just dancing with everybody, and I'm like, yes. Like,
oh my god! And mind you, I'm looking at, as I'm talking to you, I'm looking at the live as well, and you have people like Jahaira that's on here watching, and you know, I definitely want to send love to Jahaira and Lakesh. And again, it's people like her and so many other trailblazers that have not, I mean, I've always accepted it, but it's helping other people who are hesitant to be more accepting and realize, like, hey, it's okay to be inclusive. It's okay. We're not, like she told me, we're not gonna bite. You know, it's fine. And for me, like she even writes right now, I love this so much. And it's like, you know, these are the topics that we have to talk about. I love Jahaira.
I have not met her at all, and I am patiently waiting because I've been dying to meet them. Like I see what they do for the community, even the conquest that they have going on every year, and it gets me so much because I'm just like, why am I like home, and why am I in my feelings and my emotions and say I can't, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm so glad I'm out of the barrier of people giving normalization of what a man should be in heels. I'm tired of those expectations. Like I have worked, like now I'm starting to get back into it, like I said, and first thing I want to do is like get back into it. I want to like show people that like I'm a guy in heels. If you like it or not, I'm still gonna be doing it. And everything. I'm not gonna stop for no one. I can't no more. And everything, like Jahaira didn't stop for no one. Antonio Mendoza didn't stop for no one. Jeremy especially didn't stop for no one. You know what I mean? Like you got these individuals that are like beating his expectations. They're breaking normalization. They're breaking it. Like that. They're showing that if I could do it, so can you. Stop. And you know what's the crazy part? When I stopped dancing, I feel like it was a slap in the face to everyone that believed in me. And everything, and that was so heartbreaking because like I'm like, damn, I gave up on so many people, and so many people were rooting for me. But I mean rooting for me, like when they saw me first performing heels at the New York Salsa Congress with Albasario, I had gotten so much like appreciation, and like they know that dancing in heels is not easy at all, and they know how rehearsals go. They know how it is, and
Yeah.
like once I stopped, like I'm telling you, like I had even like Gladys from G Franco like would tell me, she's like, I love what you're doing, don't stop, please don't stop. I love what you're doing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Even people like Georgette, like it was like a slap in the face. They were like, dang, I believed in you, you gave up.
Well, and mind you, even like Miriam from Florida, Miriam Watkins just said, you know, she remembers that dance with you. But I want you to know is that from my perspective, I never wanted you to feel like you quit. In reality, you still had to find yourself.
Yeah.
You had to take you again. You have to love yourself before you can love anyone else.
Yes.
And like you
Definitely.
said, you started as a dancer, and what's his name? Saul says you're a dancer in heels. You're, you know, for me to see you, because when I did see you actually in that G Franco competition,
Mhm.
it was amazing. It wasn't like, oh my God, there's a guy in heels. It's like, no, it's Carlos dancing, and I love it. And he's being free. I still remember you doing Instagram videos with your heels, doing shine work, and seeing the comments of people loving it, and realizing again, you're human. And there comes a point when, hey, I love dancing, but I need to take care of me
Yeah.
before I can take care of we.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you never quit. It's just again, you had to take a, like you said, you had to take that step back. There were so many things going
Yeah.
on.
And I could be honest with you, like I wanted to come back in a dance scene where I was fully there myself. I didn't want to be like someone and like someone that I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I didn't want to come in there like with a fake smile, and like I'm not the kind of people to give you fake energy and fake vibes. Like I want to walk in the room and people feel my energy and want to be next to me and want to talk to me and want to dance with me. Because when you're dancing, connection is very important. And if you have that ugly connection because you're not happy with yourself, people feel it. I could tell you there's times where I dance with people and they were just not happy with themselves. And I was that person. And like I see that on Jacera said, sometimes you need to step back and take a regroup. I definitely had to regroup. I
Yeah.
had to get myself back together. I made someone part of my I made someone my world, and my world left. So I need
Mhm.
to rebuild my world on self-love, self-evaluating, and being who I'm supposed to be and be who I am. Because there's only one of you. You can't be
Yeah.
like no one else. And that's why like and you know, it brings me back to like why I got into heels. I got
Mhm.
into heels because it made me happy. It made me who I am. Like when I go dress up, when I do heels, I put on the makeup, the lipstick, and like I
Yes.
felt so like, oh my God, I felt like me. Like like I love that stuff. Like when I threw everything away, I'm telling you, like I don't regret it, because now I'm starting to regroup
Yeah.
and really come back into that person, because that's the person I miss. He didn't look for people's what you say, like expectations. He didn't look for people's like look for people to accept him. He didn't look for people to like praise him. He was just himself. And the vibe that I gave out, I attracted so many beautiful people that were on that same level, that were like, they didn't care what people said about them. They just want to like be around people that love for who they are and have a good time. And I can tell you, congresses have really done that for me. I came across, like I said, beautiful people that like I still call friends, and I still like,
Mhm.
you know, that I have on Facebook, and I find, and I still like conversate with them. And these are the kind of people that like I call closer
Yeah.
than people that I'm actually friends with like right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like these are the people that like they don't care what I'm going through. They just want to make sure that like I'm still happy. They want to make sure that
Yes.
I'm still who I am. They want to make sure that it's that I'm still there. They never these kind of people never wanted you to go under. They always want to bring you back to the top. They want to motivate you, support you, love you, be there for you, and show you what life is. So
Yeah. I mean, and like you see in these comments, just like the love and support that you get, probably that you've known already, or just knowing now, and the stories of people like talking about the Philly Salsa Fest battle.
uh
Yes. you know, even Saul, you know, talking about life is a journey now, race, my friend, you will get there. And you realize that, like you said, in this community, you found a support system, maybe intentionally or non-intentional, but that's what a community is about. When they see people that are going through something or anything, it's not about man or woman. It's not about a gender role. It's about people realizing that we, again, need to come together because, like I told you before, when we go to congresses and festivals, a lot of times we are going through so much on the inside that we shadow it with dancing all night. We shadow it with going to the after parties and getting super drunk. We rationalize our thoughts and feelings and saying, you know, that's not important right now. But in reality, we have these type of talks because it is our reality. And we have to, again, love ourselves and treat ourselves how we want to be treated before we can treat other people.
Yeah, definitely does. I totally agree with that. And like going to the salsa scene, like coming to like the dance scene, like these people, like they don't give up on you at all. Like these are the kind of people that like they look for you. You don't have to look for no one.
Yeah.
Everybody's, it's like 50-50, like, hey, but like, hey, are you coming to this Congress? Come in a room with you again.
Yes.
Like, yes. Of course. I would definitely be in your room. I would definitely love to hang out with you again. Like, those are the kind of people you want people that want you just as much as you want them. You know, you love the vibes and energy are so important. Like I remember going to Bachiando and I roomed with my cousin and her dancers. The best time I had in my life.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's true. You like when we go to congresses, people have to know a lot of times it is not just two people in a room.
Yeah, it was like it was my first time. Like not only that room, but there was a time that I went to New York and I had these 3 roommates that I never met in my life, and we partied and danced so much and laughed so much. Like it was just like those kind of moments I miss. I'm just like, oh my god, COVID, go away.
And it's like, you know what? I'm sorry to cut you off, but in reality, like you said, like I wish that we didn't have to go through what we're going through.
No.
And I wish we could go to all of these socials, but in retrospect, having this happen to us has made us really look within ourselves and say what needs to change.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Yes, and for me, it's saying like many people who know me, I'm the media guy. I'm the one that goes to congresses and festivals and films. But at the end of the day, I have a voice. At the end of the day, I have people like you and others that share their stories, share their experiences, share what's going so great in their life, but also share some of their deepest, darkest moments. And that shows the humility because, you know, a topic you brought up earlier, which is very, very dear to me, and I think definitely needs to be changed, is the equality aspect. Like you said, you were in dancing, and like you said, you were in the salsa scene, and you could see the divide. You could see the criticism, the critiquing, the bullying in a sense, like the mental. You can feel that pressure. And kind of you saying, hey, I'm going into bachata, and I feel so much more inclusive, even though there are some people who can, like you said, make you feel, wow, they don't want to dance with me because I'm wearing heels or because I'm gay. And, you know, for me, as a straight male, I'm usually the type that if I was to hear that, I would probably go up to the gentleman and I would have a conversation because that's not the type of energy we need. It's okay if you have a separate opinion, but it's not okay to make someone feel wrong about what they choose to identify with, what they feel comfortable with, what they feel comfortable wearing, because no one can tell you what to wear. And like you say, you wear makeup, you wear heels, and you are being yourself.
Yes.
Just like I would dance with a female, I would still dance with you and have a great time. Honestly, and I told other guests this, especially in bachata, I have more fun sometimes dancing with guy follows than I do with women follows.
Because they're just having fun. It's all about having fun.
Yes.
Like and I feel like when it comes to equality, I'm gonna be honest, it's such a touchy subject for me, and
Mm.
but there's times that we have to talk about it
Yes.
because we don't only deal with it. I didn't only deal with it in the dance scene. I also deal with it in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why I do what I do now. I speak on this kind of things,
Mm.
especially with everything that's going on right now when it comes to like Black lives and LGBT. There's
Yes.
so much inequality. Like I remember in high school that my voice was very high. I was very feminine. I still am. And I would get made fun of. I would get made fun of. I would get bullied because of it. I used to get into fights because of it. It put a lot of strain of me in school to my education and also at home because I wasn't out to my parents until I was 16.
Mm.
And you start to see life in a different light when it comes to getting treated differently.
Mm-hmm.
I will always say this, and I don't care what anybody else says when it comes to this, that when you have a gay child
Mm-hmm.
and you have straight kids, you treat them differently. I don't care what any parent. Some parents probably don't even notice it, but a lot of parents do. And
Yeah.
I don't only see it. I didn't only see it within my household, but I saw it in other households. And
Mm-hmm.
like thankfully I had a grandma that treated me all of us the same. I had like definitely had a mom that treated us the same, but my real dad didn't want to be in my life because I was gay at all.
Yeah.
Right. And like like now he feels bad for it, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm in a better, like I'm a good adult. Like there's nothing that like you're gonna be missing a lot. You already missed my whole like 30 years of 29 years of life. You're gonna
Yeah.
keep missing more because I'm not. And I started to see the difference between when it comes to support.
Mm-hmm.
Not only support, but in like also within like getting treated differently. So like for instance, I saw that like when I was growing up, my brother would get treated different than I would
Yeah.
and everything because he was a straight boy and I was a gay boy. He would like baseball, I would like music. And I saw that as growing up, like difference and everything. Like everybody would like he would get his baseball paid for, his stuff paid for, and I had to pay everything out of dance for myself. Everything dance I paid for myself. So as growing up, you start to see that like I'm going to make sure this never happens to no one else
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And this is why I talk about equality. You have to treat that person the same due as you would treat a heterosexual
Yes.
and everything, especially in the dance scene. Like I am a man in heels and I follow, so you should treat me the same way you would treat a woman as she
Absolutely.
follows with
Absolutely.
respect. To show to understand that I am doing this, I am following because I like to dance. I love to dance. So don't treat me differently just because I am a gay man in heels.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the inequality not only come from heterosexuals, but also coming from the gay people
Mm-hmm.
and everything. If they don't look where they got this thing where like if you don't look this certain way or dress a certain way or dance a certain way, they're gonna treat you different.
Mm.
And that's not right at all.
No.
I have seen it at many congresses, and like these are and like I wish I and it's my fault for not speaking up on it and everything. But now is the time to make that difference. It can making that difference because now there's more people talking about it. Now there's
Mm-hmm.
more people that's going to back you up on it and educate you, not only you, but educate who doesn't understand it on this topic. And I could tell you like now, like I would talk about it all the time. Like I would go to my dad's, and like for the instance, I have been doing like educational rally. I did an educational rally. Uh
Yes.
so it wasn't only about LGBTQ plus. It was also about the Black lives and the undocumented and how we're all getting treated in inequality. How we're getting
Mm-hmm.
treated like we're nobodies, how we're getting treated if like if we didn't deserve to be here, like if we didn't deserve to have the same rights as everyone else
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And I could tell you that like I did all this, and I not one person that I thought supported me didn't support me.
Mm.
Like there's this thing that I put as a hashtag. It's like behind closed doors support is canceled.
Yes.
What I mean by that is that, like, if you're not fighting with me, being vocal with me, or showing the support you're supposed to show me, it's canceled. You can't say that you that you love me, you care about me, and you believe everything I'm doing, and say behind closed doors, but you're not out there with me and stuff. So like I told my boyfriend like earlier, I was like, these are the kind of people I don't want to be around. I don't. If you're not gonna support me, and you're not gonna fight with me, and show that this is more than just about me, about us. It's about everything that's going on in the world right now. We can't sit at the same table.
Absolutely, because
yes, that's a big deal.
It is, because I think what happens is especially now with everything that's been going on, I think what a blessing is, we're really seeing the people, especially in our community, that truly care about the community for what it's worth. Because a lot of people care about what Congress is happening, what festival, what performers are going to come. But when it comes about social issues, about human rights issues,
yes,
about, just basic needs that people have about just humanity, and you can see the lack of humanity in a lot of the people we admired, a lot of the people that we love watch performing. Excuse me. We're really seeing their true colors, and it's not so much because we have a person like yourself that is going out there on the front lines, that is speaking up, but you're having so many of your favorite dancers that you hear nothing from.
Nothing at all. And I always get the excuse from not only from people that are big names like that, but also people that like within that I have in my surroundings. I don't want to be a part of nothing. I don't want to be in those kind of environment or situations and everything. When you don't speak up in those kind of environments and that kind of situation, you are part of the problem. You can't stay quiet. Like we can't continue to close our eyes to like these kind of things. We can't. Because if you close a blind eye to these kind of things, it's gonna keep happening. It's gonna keep cycling, and it's not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
This is not only my fight. This is your fight. Everybody's fight. And especially when it comes to Latinos, when it comes to the Latinos within the LGBT, when it comes to Black lives with the LGBT, Afro Latino, like it comes anybody that is a minority within color or that doesn't have the same equality, it's their problem.
Yeah,
When I see like a Latino or a Latina that has curly hair, light skin, and like, oh, like I don't want to be a part of that, but like you're not making a difference. You're part of the problem.
Yes, absolutely. You're standing. You rather just you want everything to be better, but you're not hitting the issue on the head. And for me, it's like when I was told this, what people who have these issues or people that need the support, it's not about fighting for them. It's fighting alongside
with them. Yeah.
Because it's so much about just, oh, I want to fight for you. I want to do this for you. But no, you're doing that already. I want to be standing right next to you and fighting with you against this oppression, because we realize that the same issues we deal with at our congresses and festivals are the same issues that happen in the real world.
Yeah, and it could, it's like one of the biggest things is that people always say, well, educate me. I'm not going to only educate you, I'm going to teach you.
Yes.
Because if I'm only educating you, I'm speaking it. But if I'm teaching you, I'm also showing you.
Yes.
And everything. So I'm not going to just educate you on why I think I should have equal human rights, not only within my life, but also in the dance scene. No, we're going to go through this together. You're going to walk with me. You're going to see what I go through. You're going to hear what I go through. And we're going to come up with a solution how to fix this. Because I don't want the next generation of people coming and kids coming in having to deal with this still. I don't want the next generation of dancers coming in still having to deal with this. Like it's not fair. Like we should be the difference. We should be the ones stopping it now, putting a whole halt to it. Like it ends here.
No, it's true. It's true. And it's you and so many other people that have the same sentiment. Like I'm having you on like I know, so some on here you can't really see the faces sometimes, but this is Mayla Rodriguez that posted this, and I'm having her on next Wednesday to talk about her journey in transitioning into a female.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for her. I'm so excited.
And just as well as her, tomorrow we're having Ed Maya on, and he's the facts, because what you're saying it's not just the LGBTQ plus community that sees this. It is the community as a whole. And I stand by that hashtag of behind closed doors support is canceled.
It's canceled.
There's no more of support.
Yeah.
There's no more supporting you, I tell you. But when you ask me, like when you say, can you share this, and I don't hear nothing, or even if I don't have to tell you, if you support what I support, you can easily share something.
And that's the thing. We need to stop. Oh my God, this one thing that you just pointed out right now. We need to stop. If people really care about and support what you're doing and who you are and everything, we shouldn't be asking them to support us. They should already do it they should already be willing to do it without me saying anything. And everything, and that's where I'm getting at, like around like with my surroundings or anybody. Like I shouldn't have to tell you, hey, can you share this? Hey, can you come to this? Hey, like all I have to tell you is like, hey, I'm having an event here and everything. Happy to see you there. And everything. Like I don't need excuses. I don't need you to tell. Like I don't need you to like not answer me. Like I don't like it's. I shouldn't have to ask you. Like I'm just telling you, I shouldn't have to ask you. I shouldn't have to beg you. I shouldn't have to, like. No, it ends. It's just for me. It's been stopping, and I'm learning to not explain myself no more.
Absolutely,
and I'm stop fighting for people's attention and support. If you don't support me, you don't support me. There's nothing I could do to change your mind, and that's fine.
Yeah, and I think again with this quarantine, it definitely has helped myself kind of just decompress and say, you know what, creating this type of platform is something so needed in this day and time, because we're not able to see each other. But when we're not able to just focus on dance, we're able now to focus on the issues that really mean a lot to us.
Yeah.
And me being a straight male, I could never understand your experience. But I was thankful enough when I was younger. I was in an all-guy group that had three gay males, and then 3 straight guys. And for us, we were like for 5 to 7 years always together, and we learned their experiences from their stories. Yeah. We learned the stuff they went through in high schools. And we have to understand this, is that a lot of people have been subject to not understanding the appropriate language that is needed because when I mean language, especially I learned this from Jahira, of the language of the LGBTQ plus community. Yeah. But then I also learned from Tina was that even a person who is a part of that community does not always understand what's right and wrong.
Yeah. I'm still learning. I'm still open. I keep my mind open to being educated when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, because there's so much about it. Like right now I'm reading this book that it's right here. It's called The Deviant War. And this book, it's right here. I paid like $23 on Amazon. If anybody wants it, I'll send you the link because it's really good. And I'm on the second chapter, and I'm reading just the history on where it started. Yeah. It started as close as into like the World War II, like where they would ask you a questionnaire. They were like, "Does the same sex make you feel uncomfortable?" On a questionnaire for the inductees to answer. And everything. So I'm reading this and I was like, my goodness. I was like, I know as much back as to Marsha P. Johnson that was murdered in 1992. So I was like, hold on, there's more to this. I was like, there's no way that like she just started like talking about equality and human rights out of nowhere. I was like, there has to be a history. So I started reading and being more educated on it. It started off in a bathroom in St. Louis where they it's crazy. Like that book has given me so much insight on like where history started, and it's crazy. And these are just, it's mind blowing that people don't think that equality is important, but it's very important, because from as close to like 1925, we've been fighting for the same thing. Yeah, literally. And not only within the LGBT, it's also in the Black community and the Latino community, and it's still not getting nowhere because there's a lot of people that are closing blind eye to it. And
yes, and again, I just really think it's important that we had this conversation because to realize your journey, to realize what you went through, in the scene that was good and bad, and addressing those head on is important because again, people a lot of times are afraid to address their concerns because they feel maybe a majority won't ever understand. But without starting these type of conversations, without expressing your frustrations, nothing will ever get put into the light. Having a book like that, educating yourself, understanding and taking responsibility of saying, hey, I might not know the full language, but I'm open to learning more.
Yeah, and I'm still learning the vowels that even Ace educated on me when we did our live together with the mob. Like, she educated me on hers, and I was like, holy crap. I was like, I didn't do a reading on this. I was like, how does this work? I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm still learning about it, and it's astounding to like there's my culture has like not even like within the Latino but the LGBT, there's like a whole history that I didn't even know about, and like what languages I should be using and not using.
Absolutely. And then for me too, even going along with that, and with everything you're talking about, I hit it head on, and especially even now, I myself am very supportive and I want to do my part in understanding more and supporting the not so much the struggle. I mean, I can't say struggle, but the focus on Black trans lives and a lot of trans lives in general, but especially Black trans.
Let me tell you, oh my goodness, I'm so frustrated because like I have seen so many posts like people like, oh, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, the Black the members of the Black community that lost their lives to police brutality, but they're not talking about also the Black trans life, like it didn't matter. And that's where I'm stuck, because I'm just like, hold on, they went through the same issue you're going through. And the crazy part is that started close to Marsha P. Johnson. They found her body in a river and covered as a suicide from the police. So I'm just like, are you free? I was like, you're kidding me, right? Like I had an argument with a guy. I was like, we're going through the same thing. I was like, you do know we have colored transgenders, Black and Latinos of color, that are getting getting killed, just like how George Floyd and Breonna Taylor are getting like in the police harm. And like people are not talking about that, and I'm like, hold on, like we need to bring this to light. Like I was like, we're not only losing it to like the police, like to the police like brutality, we're all listening to the down low culture when it comes to transgenders, and nobody's talking about it. And I'm like, oh my god, because I do so much research and I have read into so many things, and I follow so many like beautiful transgenders that like they speak up on these things, and nobody's speaking up like it is like for the LGBT, and nobody's speaking on it like how they do for the Black lives. And transgenders are part of those communities because some of them are, most of them are LGBT, and they are part of LGBT and Black life and Black community.
Absolutely. And that's for me, it's like, hey, I'm one of those people, even though I'm not a part of that community, they are, for me, they're part of my community. And the fact is, I want people to understand is that with this platform, I'm going to talk to people like yourself and others of other communities, and to tell you, I understand what you're talking about. I understand your concerns, even though I don't have your experiences. I've learned from you. I'm asking you questions on how I can help, because we have to have because mind you, what we're talking about, like you said, is not being talked about enough. And I am saying we need to talk about this more, because also we do have people who are transgender in the dance community.
We do.
And their voices need to be heard. And
they also deal with as much as an inequality as anybody else and everything. I have transgender friends that like they would get made fun of and laughed at. So I have not seen in the dance community yet and everything. And if I was to see that even more like at all, like it'll be a big problem. Like you're probably gonna have to drag me out of the Congress because I don't like people being bullied. I've been bullied my whole life, and I
Yeah.
used to fight people because of it. Like I
Yeah.
don't like it when it happens to other people. So when I see it, my blood boils because nobody deserves that. I remember what I went through as being bullied. Like, and it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. Like being bullied leads to suicide, depression, mental health. Like it leads to so much, and like it's you don't know what that person's going through, and you shouldn't be doing it.
And for me, just like having this talk with you was amazing, and learning that not just how outspoken you are, but how much of a fighter you truly are. And I could definitely say from this discussion, I've learned so much about you. I've learned how much people really do love you. I learned how much that our community really is a lot stronger than we thought. And but again, I'm letting you know is that when we do all get back together, just know that you have a person like myself that if you see something, say something to me. And if I need to address someone and I need to let a promoter know this is not a person we need, then so be it, because we need more voices. For me, it's listening to how, besides the dancing, you've been taking it into the front lines in your neighborhood and speaking on equality. It's amazing. It's honorable. It's inspiring. And you're actually you're part of that generation that is inspiring the next. And you have people here like Mela, who is transgender, who is watching this, who shared this, and there's someone else from the LGBTQ plus community that will watch this and say, wow, we have two people here, one from Jersey, one from New York, speaking about issues that really need to be heard. And I thank you so much, Carlos, for we can have this conversation. But before at least we go, I really want you to let me know and let the audience know any last words that you would love to leave us with.
One thing that like I want everybody to know is that like treat everybody with love and respect. Like treat everybody with love and respect. Really stay open to being educated and understanding where somebody else is coming from, because not everybody's perfect, and you're not gonna you can't assume where this person comes from and who they are, because everybody has a story. And even though they keep a beautiful smile in front of your face and like they dance amazing and they give you good energies, there's going to be times where they might need you one day. There may be times where they might run to you and they might want to talk to you about something that they're going through, and you have to stay open to be educated about them.
Absolutely.
We can't keep turning these people away, especially in our dancing community. I have seen so many people in the dance community leave within the 5 years of being in like 5 or 6 years in the dance community, that have left because of the toxic culture that people are starting to build in it, of normalizing, making fun of people, judging people, making it feel like they can't dress like a certain way, they can't be a certain way, they can't be themselves. And I just want to say that, like, if you are in the dance community and you are watching this, be the difference. We want more people to come in the dance community with the mindset of love and respect. And the only way it's going to happen is if it starts with you.
Absolutely. I mean, those are some beautiful words, and I stand by you. I stand by your message 110%. And I'm thankful that I can have you, and I definitely want to have you again for a future discussion, during later part of the year, because again, like I tell all of my guests, this is our first discussion, but it surely won't be our last.
Our last.
And again, I want just always to let me know. You can always let me know when you have something coming up of a march or a protest you're doing, or any information that you would love for me to share on my platform. I would love to share it, because this discussion goes beyond today. This discussion needs to happen, and I know we've inspired people already to start having those conversations. So I truly thank you, Carlos, so much from the bottom of my heart. You are a true shining light in our community, and you're inspiring people day by day. And again, stay safe in Jersey, stay safe with your family, and until we meet again.
Yes, Diamond. Thank you so much. Much
Everyone,
love.
thank you. Yes, love you
Yes,
guys.
yeah. Love you guys. Love you, Diamond.
Bye.
See you. Bye.